Jason Kenney is the head of the Pan-European Oil and Gas Division right now at ING. He is joining us by telephone to discuss how the disaster will affect BP shareholders. Very glad to have you with us this morning, Jason. Thanks for joining us. BP's stock, as listed in London, has lost about 20% since the explosion. Do you still see 10% upside for the stock if Top Kill is successful?
I think we can see a quite positive trading reaction once there is a confirmed announcement that this well has been capped and the leak is stopped. It's a very inexact science, of course, because there will still be some negative sentiment around the cleanup and the litigation elements, but certainly stopping the flow earlier rather than later could be more positive in my view.
I'm somewhat surprised by the bullish take, Jason, because, I mean, we gave some of the stats. I mean, even the amount of oil that is leaking in the Gulf, 12 to 19,000 barrels a day. Previous estimates, I'm not saying 5,000 barrels was low, but don't you think this puts even more pressure on the stock and more pressure on the company?
No, I think the possible total cost of the U.S. Gulf of Mexico disaster, we calculated about $5.3 billion. That's including $3.25 billion of net litigation costs, $888 million for anti-pollution fines, $1.2 billion of direct net cleanup costs. That's based on the 40 days of spill to date. When you add that kind of figure into BP's business, it's not going to shake what is a very financially sound, economically viable and cash generative company. But you spread that over a few years, it doesn't make a great deal of impact to the target price.
So you don't think BP is weakened to the extent where other bigger players or other equally big players could make a bid for them, for example, Exxon or Shell?
And the current share price is very attractive, and certainly the yield of BP, we're looking at 9.1% yield for 2011, 7.9% for 2010. Must be very attractive. As a valuation proposition, BP has to be looked at by the rest of the majors, but ultimately it's strong enough to defend itself. The rest of its business, its global operations, still delivering, still operating, still very much sustainable, and the earnings delivery and momentum is simply fantastic from BP at the moment.
Jason, what about Tony Hayward? I mean, is it kind of a situation where as soon as the cleanup looks like it's on board, he steps down?
I doubt it. I think he's led from the top. It's been very visible. The response that he's put into play has been exemplary from the oil industry in past disasters, as far as I'm concerned.
So you don't see it as a good thing for shareholders? It wouldn't be a good thing for sharebholders if he stepped down?
He's shown very strong leadership, and he deserves to ride this one out and take BP where it is going, and that is a very financially stable and valuable outlook.
Jason, we thank you for your time. Jason Kenney joining us there from ING from Edinburgh.